Yes.
Gotcha. Well, I'm Todd. Nice to meet you both.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. So everyone, welcome to another
Yeah, nice to
live
mean you.
stream.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Um,
we're live already. Have we been? Haven't we been live during my entire fucking spiel?
No, I wanted to find the right time to go live rather seamlessly.
Why do I hear
Um,
myself?
You have ears.
Oh yeah, no. Sorry, I just heard myself echoing.
Oh,
I barely. It doesn't. No, I should. You'd fucking hell. You'd be surprised by how much I speak without thinking or hearing what I'm saying myself. So,
yeah,
I think I know exactly, actually.
yeah.
I've just been doing it for the entire run. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tonight's live, we will be discussing Todd Rennebohm's latest series on his podcast, which you should go check out. I need to check out myself. I'll subscribe to it on Spotify. So
I will. I could have done that. You sent me the link. You've done, as usual. You've done everything to prepare, and I've done nothing to prepare.
yeah.
But it does seem interesting. I say.
So I'm now going to hand it. Yeah. So now I'm going to hand it over to Todd to introduce himself. So take it away.
Hello, I'm Todd Rennebohm. I'm Canadian. I'm I'm a suicide attempt survivor in recovery of substance abuse for about 9 years. I am a podcast host of a weekly podcast for about 4 years called Bunny Hugs and Mental Health, where I talk to everybody and anybody about all types of mental health issues. But about a year ago, I wanted to kind of expand my podcast repertoire, I guess, and do like a documentary, investigative kind of podcast. And I had a few different subject matters and a few different people I could have done this about. But in Saskatchewan, which is the province I live in Canada, over the last year or so, there's been a lot of anti-trans laws and rhetoric coming from our government. I have, loved ones that are trans. I know friends who have kids that are trans and all this stuff. And so I kind of felt obligated, I guess, to choose that subject matter. So over the last 6 or 7 months, I knuckled down and I buckled down with my knuckles and interviewed, probably 30 to 40 people, and did a bunch of research and dwindled all that data down to 8 episodes. And there's 4 out now as we're speaking near the end of October. It's called Transgression, My Search for the Real Trans Agenda in Saskatchewan. And yeah, it's on Spotify and Apple and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
I do love that title. I will say as a big fan of both trans people and as a big fan of trans people, as a trans person myself, I should try to say, and as a big fan of transgressive literature, I do love the and transgression in general. I love the title. It made me actually like. I'm going to be serious. I haven't checked it out. I've had a mental health week, so I haven't touched trans issues really.
That's fair.
Since I found out, because sometimes I don't need to be reminded that the entire fucking world hates me. But no, not entirely. It's better than it used to be. Worse than it used to be as well, somehow.
Right.
But I loved. I will actually check it out because it seems genuinely interesting. And
well, thank you.
That's something that I don't usually say on this. I'm
Yeah,
more
and
a person who doesn't.
yeah, and especially when we because we every now and then we will cover obviously the latest news, what's going on in our government, which is a complete shit show.
Your
When it
government,
comes to
Torin.
trans
I do
youth,
not. I still don't live in Britain.
yeah. When it comes to like the government in general,
Yeah.
it's a shit show. Regardless of where you live.
Hmm.
And when it comes to trans
I will.
youth, um, it's it's a horrendous subject for anyone. But obviously for Max, she mentioned this numerous times. She's a teacher, so it particularly hits home for her. So we try to avoid if we can. But I
Well,
listen
it's
to the
technically
trailer.
it's usually the murders
Yeah,
that
well,
I
yeah,
don't want to like. I have actively said that I will never speak about Brianna Gay on this podcast, for example. I don't have any problem with Torian speaking about it, but I personally refuse to
yeah.
say my piece on it because it will make me punch through the
yeah,
fucking TV computer screen.
yeah. So
Monitor.
whenever, yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
thanks.
whenever, yeah. So
I'm not
whenever,
technically savvy. I'm not one of those trans women.
yeah, yeah. So
I'm
whenever we,
Luddite.
yeah. So whenever we broach that subject or have to, I will try. I will try and give Max the heads up so she can kind of disappear, and I will not have to hear it. But that,
Hmm.
Go out and
but with all
smoke
that
and
said,
stuff.
yeah. But with all that said, like I was thinking about this earlier. We shouldn't be having this conversation. It shouldn't have to take normal people, and I'm using air quotes, like us who just want to live our lives. We are not the ones who should be having this conversation. It should be the important people in place to discuss laws and discuss the appropriate care that everyone needs, regardless of if you are cis or trans. Because what I find very hypocritical, and I don't know if you've noticed this yourself, Todd, but when it comes to cis kids accessing puberty blockers or whatever treatment, they are fine. But when it comes to trans kids, it's like, hold on a minute, we can't have that. And I find it very hypocritical.
I'm
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot to mention too. Yeah, I'm a straight white cis middle aged guy, so it's like it was a little shocking for some people around here that I would do a series like this, but that was the whole point.
I
I want
love
people
that.
like me to listen to it, and that was the
Yeah.
the catch. Like, what is the trans agenda? And that's the catch to get people to listen that are like me. So
Yeah, I love that. I'm I'm on record saying that I want to turn this into a movie podcast because I don't want to talk about it. Like I have to because some fucking cunts have decided to politicize my fucking existence. I did so like yeah. Thanks for like pulling some of that.
Yeah, my pleasure. Well, I don't know if it was a pleasure, but it was my honor.
Yeah. Did you? Well, it is a weird and funny subject sometimes as well. Like just the general existence of trans people is kind of darkly humorous in a lot of ways. You need a gallows humor to pull through. That's the funniest bit when I see people say that like trans people don't know how to joke. Or how to take a joke about like trans issues. Have you been on Twitter for 2 minutes? Like, it's the only thing that happens. The only thing that like goes on in the like trans circles on Twitter is just like people calling each other tranny and stuff. Because you need to like it's the only way to fucking manage because the world decided to make our lives into a dark comedy.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, I mean, it was a pleasure, but that's not why I did the
Yeah.
podcast. It was my honor. But
No.
a lot of the people I spoke to, especially like the trans youth, man, there was times we were laughing till we were crying. Like, and like I had to cut a lot of that out of the podcast because, you know, it was
It's
a little
not often-
self-deprecating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's also a good.
Yeah.
That's also a good choice. It's like sometimes we have on people who doesn't really agree with us on it here. I love to
interesting.
platform. I'm a big fan of platforming the biggest shitheads in the world. No, but and it
So
will
that's how I
often
made
be me. no, this was yeah. Congratulations! Now we're going to have a 3-hour screaming contest because that's basically what it turns into. Because I'm not a calm, collected person always, and I don't pull punches really. There was one time when I did, and I felt so bad about it that I whined about it for 3 full episodes after that. I hadn't been as hard as that. Torin and the Nerdy, who is also on, but who is off for other reasons, personal reasons. Who just I can't imagine that would be fun. Just listening to me like, yeah, I fucked up that time 4 weeks ago. No, I'm so sorry. But other than that, like it's like when those people misgender me, I don't care. Because I genuinely don't care. But Torin is kind of in an uncomfortable position where he has to care because he doesn't get to not do it. So, like, not putting the self-deprecation into it, I understand that was probably a good choice for you.
Yeah.
See, I
no,
finally
when it
reached
comes
my
to-
point. Eventually, I do.
Yeah, well, when it comes to misgendering Max or anyone, you know, it's not uncomfortable for me because.
No, I just mean that you have to be the one to actually
Yeah. Well, yeah.
tell them to
because
fuck
for
off
someone-
about that part while I keep screaming at them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just it's just simple manners, right? But clearly, these people don't care about manners, right? Clearly, the way they think. But it's like
Well, you know,
going to.
that will serve them well soon. I am the all mother.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can clearly see.
So when it came to you doing your research, like you say, you've been doing this research for 6 months.
Mhm.
So what first tempted you to, or what made you decide to do this as a series?
Well, so I guess it was in 2023, our provincial government created this bill 137. It has a different name, which is a bullshit name called Parental Right Bill or Parental Bill of Rights. So it's to make parents feel like they don't have any rights when it comes to raising their children, which is absolute bullshit. So then in the bill, it says children 16 and under cannot use their preferred pronouns or names in school without permission of their parents.
I'm sorry, but doesn't this take away rights from the parents? This bill? Doesn't this technically
Yeah.
It takes
interfere with
away
how-
rights.
Yeah.
It takes away rights from all children, technically.
Yeah, definitely. But like, if they're not allowed to, like, shouldn't that be a part of the parent? Like, if you actually use the argument for parental rights, this actually hinders them in how they are allowed to raise their children, right? Like the fact,
Sure, I mean,
they're not
the
allowed
twist
to
is-
use the.
Sorry,
I don't know.
so the twist is the parents have the right to know what the kids are calling themselves and what pronouns they prefer in school. So the parents can say, yeah, that's fine. My child's allowed to use that in school. But as adult people with brains, we all know children have secrets. Sometimes home isn't a safe place. They try things out with their friends first in school and stuff. And so basically what it is, it's a bill to out children to their parents that don't feel comfortable coming out to their parents. And
Yeah.
then about a
Yeah.
year after that, we had a provincial election, and the premier of our province, which is like the governor of a state in the United States, same thing but Canadian. During the election, he made some anti-trans remarks about um, biological boys will not be changing with biological girls in change rooms. And then
Everyone is
said-
biological.
right. But then he gave an example of a certain school in a small town here in Saskatchewan of two kids who were not out, and as it just so happens, those kids were an opponent's children. So he basically, so then the like on the internet and stuff, the right wing, you know, these newspapers that aren't actually newspapers, they're just right wing blogs basically.
Yeah.
They outed the kids. So during a provincial election, our premier outed two 12-year-olds. And I'm friends with the
Daily
father.
Wire propaganda machines.
Yeah. So
that's fucked.
It is fucked. And I thought to myself, like, what the hell? This should be like international news. Like, what political anybody outs children? Obviously, the parents, I mean, they want their privacy, so they kind of just didn't speak publicly about it really, for the kids' sakes. I mean, as much as I would love it to go international and out our premier, you know, I understand why they didn't want to make a big stink about it. Yeah, but yeah, so then that was a kicker. Plus, I have a trans nephew, and his parents are having a rough time accepting it. So yeah, I mean, I do have some skin in the game. I don't have a lot of skin in the game. Like, I'm not trans. I don't have trans kids, but I have people I love that are trans, and these bills and our government is, you know, they're affected by this stuff.
From a pure, like, if we are to, like, that's from a pure, like, information standpoint, that is good. Like, you can't be accused of being biased as easily as, for example, I can and stuff like that. So that's like, it's from a pure optics standpoint, that is actually a plus. As fucked as that is, like, and I don't, making Torrens head spin now speaking about optics, because that's not really something that I bother with. But like, I it's good when other people do it, because I can't really do it. So, I have a question. After doing the research, do you find yourself more or less inclined to being a TERF? Do you find? I'm sorry. I just need to, like, because they're always like talking about peaking and stuff like that, and I'm like if you actually put into research, do you find yourself genuinely? It sounds like I'm making a just joke bullshit, and I am, because that's the way I am. But like, actually looking at the research, actually looking at, like, the stuff and the world and how it is, did that make you more or less inclined to TERF logic?
Well, I don't know if I was ever a TERF. I was just someone that, you know, was like, hey, everybody, you have the right to do whatever you are, you know, like. But at the same time, I was like, oh, these trans people are going to cancel me if I do this podcast, right? Because you always hear of, like, you can't talk about trans issues unless you're trans. So I was a little worried about that. But once I started to talk to people, I mean, they were like super incredibly gracious. They were like, thank you so much for doing this podcast. We have something called education exhaustion. You have you know, privilege that we don't, and so thank you so much for taking this burden off of us a little bit and doing this. And after talking to about 2 or 3 people, and they all ended the interviews like that, I was like, okay, well, whatever seed was planted in my brain that I might get canceled just, like, went away. And I mean, yeah, I'm sure now instead of a TERF, I'm probably considered a major groomer. So,
Yeah.
which whatever. I'll be a
that
groomer. I don't
happens.
care.
Yeah, if it's that fucking definition that they're pulling, yeah, of course. Like, because then anybody who like doesn't basically pull out the Bible to teach their kids how to be a fucking person, then yeah, I'm going to teach you about slavery, or else I'm a groomer. I mean, the positives of slavery, which the Bible actually does teach. The Bible actually even goes into definitions of like when it's okay to sell your daughter into slavery.
Nice.
And how much you should charge for her.
Per pound?
Deuteronomy is a weird book.
Well, and I did talk to some spiritual leaders, or one in particular, and I mean, she was amazing. And she talked about how like the Bible is like, whoever follows the Bible is not wrong, but she just follows the teachings of Christ. And the Bible is just a book of a bunch of stories that people wrote thousands of years ago, a couple thousand years ago that been translated wrong many times over. So her church and her congregation are extremely diverse, and she has 2 kids that are trans, and she's a Lutheran pastor. So yeah, that conversation was amazing.
Like I'm a strict non-believer personally myself, but like I don't mind religion. It's just like you should never use the Bible to. Well, I have some issues with organized religions, but I'm an anarchist, so I have a problem with organized anything. I have a problem with organized anarchism as well, for fuck's sake.
Organized thoughts.
Joke there is, but yeah, exactly. Fuck that. It's just capitalism in function. It's fascism. The funniest joke anyone has ever done about anarchism. I don't know. Do you know who XKCD is?
No idea.
It's like a stick figure comic. He wrote a book that Randall Munroe, I think is his name. He wrote a book that is like What If, where he answers ridiculous hypothetical questions by actually taking them scientifically seriously. But he did one that is like there are 18 forms of anarchism. And then you just see his little stick figures like talking about something, and then like I disagree about this, and then there's 19 forms of anarchism, and that's basically how it is.
It's like that graffiti.
Yeah,
it's like, have you ever seen that meme of the graffiti on a fence that's spray painted? It's like the top 3 things I hate: graffiti, 2 lists, 3 irony.
Oh yeah. There's also another one that is like fuck capitalism, and under that, don't tell me what to do, which I find pretty funny.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm sorry,
we're off track a bit.
Off topic. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So,
but what I want, I love that you, and like. There is a chance that someone might like push back against this, like, oh, you don't have about like what is it called in English? Translating from Swedish in my head. I'm Swedish, by the way. That's why I'm translating from Swedish. It's not because I'm insane. Oh fuck!
You love a challenge.
What is? Yeah, exactly. I need to go through the hoops by doing it through the fucking hardest language. Swedish is one of the hardest languages to learn. I know that because I'm a Swedish teacher. Fuck it. I can like anyone who does that. Tolkningsutrymme is the Swedish word I'm looking for. So if anyone out there looks that one up, please translate it for me. If you can spell it. But it's anyone who does that can be ignored. Like that's the part of a lot of cancellations. Like as long as you're not actively harmful, as long as you're not actively like and as long as you listen to people, I feel like a lot of the time that people whine about cancellations, it's either they've done something fucked and they don't really want to apologize for it, or they don't agree with it being fucked. And if you don't agree with it being fucked, then like don't. it's okay to disagree, and like Twitter isn't real life. It's
Right.
it's okay to not it's okay to not like something someone does. That doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make them like it's spiteful. It doesn't make them with ill intent. And I feel like Twitter kind of loses track of that. I've seen like I don't.
People said it depends on people's intentions, right? What's the intent
Yeah,
behind
exactly.
some of the questions or the curiosity and
Yeah.
and yeah, so I've pure intentions, I think. Also, just I don't
Seems
know.
like it.
I'm a curious person.
And like you can tell that, like it's very easy to tell it. Like there's a very big difference when, for example, my stepkid asks me about what I like. Do I want surgery or something like that? Then when like my fucking weird uncle who I don't like tells me talks to me about like, so are you cutting off your cock? Like there's a world of difference between that, and like you can definitely feel the intent. And as long as someone has actually good intentions with the questions, and also if told, hey, you're being very fucking invasive and weird right now, just like back off, then that's like whatever.
Yeah.
Because it is weird. It is a weird thing. It's like super weird, and it's hard to explain to people. Like
right.
Because
I don't relate with anything that trans people go through. But I accept it. I don't understand it, but I accept it. So let's have a chat about it and let me accept it even more by understanding a little bit better.
And like I will say that like being cis is super weird for me. Like I don't get that at all. Like it's that's one of the best things that I've actually learned, because I'm a weird person in general. Like I do weird shit in my spare time. A few months ago, I decided that I needed to build a new table. So in order to do that, I had to ask my landlord if I could borrow his axe to break his old table, because I wanted to, like, I needed motivation. So I was just like going to town, and in my little fucking studio apartment, not even a studio apartment, I rent a guest house, which I live in when I'm not, which I use as a studio. But like I'm weird. But one thing that helped me explain that to people is like, yeah, well, every time you find me weird is a time when I've found you weird as well. And it's like I don't get that. So, and just understanding that you will never truly understand someone's place, I think is a good place to start.
Right. Well, actually,
if I made sense right now, I don't know.
To me, you did. I mean, a couple of years ago, I was diagnosed with ADHD, so I am neurodivergent, and like, I fully understand
my brother
neurotypical people. Yeah, like neurotypical people. I'm like, you want a job, the same job for 20 years? What?
Oh yeah, that's so weird. And also, like,
you just don't want to do everything.
I'm sorry, I'm going to turn this into the ADHD podcast for a little second, because there are some things that I just don't like. For example, how do people have sleep schedules? Like, do you go to bed? Oh, it's bedtime. Why? You're not tired. Like, are you just laying there until you fall? I don't fucking understand you people. I'm sorry. This is like, it's been my pet peeve. I eat when I'm hungry. I sleep when I'm tired, and I've built my life around that, and that worked for me while being a teacher for 8 years. So, sure, I did sleep a lot in the teachers' lounge.
I've had a few jobs where. Well, I have 2 part-time jobs at podcasting because it's what works with my wacky schedule of life, I guess.
I've made sure that we're never going to earn money off of this podcast, because I've promised Torren that anytime we get a sponsorship, I will blacklist that person. Like, I will fully fully just slander whatever company wants to do a commercial with us. I'm a great podcast partner. Yeah. Do you want to start a podcast about trans issues? Yeah, I'm just never going to make it possible for you to do anything with it.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. How
I'm
long do you
making
guys
sure I
record
don't
for, generally?
Whenever you need to be
generally-
off, you just tell. So we do it until we're done.
Yeah, like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, normally, because normally we record our longest ever recording or live is over 3 hours, but now by accident.
Yeah.
Our normal length ranges from an hour to 2 hours. But yeah, if you need
yeah.
to jump off at any point, feel free to do so.
Okay.
Because I don't
Yeah,
expect you.
it's
I
like-
wouldn't expect you to hang around for that long.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I didn't realize,
Anyway.
because actually in a half an hour,
After
I-
that long,
sorry, I am meeting a possible sponsor, so
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's
go
fine.
do your
I
capitalism.
won't keep it too long.
no, it's okay.
So anyway,
And I'm going to actually let
um,
somebody else speak right now by stepping out for a smoke, but I will be able to hear you. So
Yeah.
Okay. Enjoy.
Anyway, for that. Anyway,
Is she always
after
like
that
this?
long preamble / tangent.
yes.
Oh yeah, like it's part of her charm. This is the duo that people come to expect.
I love it.
So let's go to some of the legal and political context. So earlier I did a little bit of a deep dive. Obviously, you can obviously tell us more. The Saskatchewan government used Section 33 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms to override a judicial review.
Yes.
So, emergency debate passed after a 40-hour filibuster to opposition MLAs. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that in depth?
Yeah.
If you can.
So the government mentioned this policy that they want to do. So it starts off as a policy, and then when they debate it in session or whatever the hell it's called, it kind of becomes a bill. So session wasn't supposed to start till I think it was mid-October or something, and they actually called all the MLAs, which are the representatives of all the different areas, in 2 weeks early, which I think was only done one other time in Saskatchewan, and was for some kind of an emergency. So they basically called this an emergency meeting so everyone could come back, debate this bill, and then when they found out that University of Regina, that's the local university here, they went to they took the government to court because this bill was actually breaking some human rights issues here in Canada. But the provincial government has something called the notwithstanding clause, which they can pass a bill if it's going to break some human rights, but they have to declare which human rights they are like breaking, and then they're okay to pass this bill. But it's only a bill for 5 years, so it's not so that they have to come back after 5 years and look at it again. So they announced that before they even sat down in session. So it was basically, they said, no matter what, we're going to pass this goddamn bill. We don't care what you guys think. So there was that. So that was pretty shady. And then while the bill was being argued, the head commissioner of the Human Rights Commission of Saskatchewan actually resigned out of protest. And about a month after the bill did pass, the premier then went and got rid of all of the commissioners on the Human Rights Commission and replaced them all with people he wanted on the commission. So it was, it wasn't cut and dry. It was a lot of shady shit happened to get this bill passed and to keep any critics quiet, which is pretty heavy for a province that in 2023, according to stats, has the lowest amount of trans people in Canada. So it's not even like half the population's trans, right? It's like a fraction of the population, and they're youth, so it's even a fraction of the people. So yeah, I mean, I know people think of Canada as like this really docile kind of country, and I mean, for the most part it is, but each area has its own kind of attitudes, and the people in the prairies, there's a few different provinces here, that mega Trumpism kind of stuff does creep up north here a little bit, and but yeah, unfortunately that's what's happening. I don't know if any of that made sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. It
Yeah,
made,
absolutely.
it made
Absolutely
perfect
did, yeah.
sense.
Good.
And
Okay.
it's that's such a big thing as well. But it's like people, we're not big. We're not a big group of people.
No.
I was going to look up statistics, but I accidentally started a stream, so I started hearing us double again because I'm not technically savvy. But like, yeah, I think it's like, what is it? Not even 1% of the population of the world is
Yeah.
trans or something.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, that's the biggest issue of our time.
Yes. I know. Really, we had to have an
Gotta keep-
emergency sitting of session to argue children what they wanted to be called, like in the fraction of the population in
And
Saskatchewan.
that's really what it is. That's really what it is as well. Because like when you're talking about children, they're not getting HRT, they're not getting surgeries. Like I know Graham Linehan loves to go online and lie, but that's not the case. Like no matter what Kelly J. Keane or whatever, who the fuck. Now I don't have any more names of TERFs in my head because I do my best to forget about them the second that I hear them. But like whatever they say, like that's not the case. It's about respecting them. It's about giving them the help that they can get. At worst, it's puberty blockers, which stop being in effect the second you stop taking them. Like it's
Exactly.
it's not.
Yeah.
And I want to say, like, before we wrap up, I feel it's important to say, because you said earlier about coming out in school and stuff. Because you don't have like the amount of times that I, as a teacher, has had a kid in my class that it's not about being trans, it's not about being gay, it's about being like, I can't tell this to my parents because they will do whatever, and it doesn't matter what it is. And it's been like kids being sexually abused by parents, it's been kids being beaten by parents, it's been being trans, it's been being gay. And like, if I as a teacher am forced to tell that parent something that they think, if I follow that rule, I should not work as a teacher. That's my simple fact of it. Like, I would,
Right.
that is one of the reasons that I actually am not working as a teacher right now, because I take that responsibility too seriously, and I quit, basically. So, because of, we don't have that rule in Sweden, because that's like, for all the bad things about Sweden, at least we're kind of good about this. But it's still a discussion that's being held, and that's fucked. Like,
Yeah.
a teacher's job isn't to report back to the parents. A teacher's job is to be there for the student. I'm not working for the fucking parent, I'm working for the student.
Right.
I'm sorry, that's my little...
No, I love that. And honestly, when they passed the bill, they said to police this, we're leaving it up to each individual school division, which there's, I don't know how many school divisions there are in Saskatchewan, multiple. So it's not even a consistent bill, because each school division could be, activating it differently. And I talked to quite a few teachers, and none of the teachers I found or talked to with, none of them said, like, they said, we don't.
27.
I don't go. Oh, thank you. none of the teachers I talk to actually go to the school board or to their principal and say, out the kid. They all just like completely ignore this bill because most teachers I know are decent human beings.
Yeah, that's why that's why you start teaching. It's because you know that this matters. It's not like if you start teaching because you desperately need to be an authority of children. I'm sorry, just get children. That's a way easier way to do that.
Exactly.
Because teachers aren't that much in authority of children anymore.
Right.
Good, which is good.
Yeah.
Like that's a positive thing because
It is.
that sort of teaching doesn't work.
That's right.
It's been proven not
kids
work.
have a safe place now. Like they have somewhere safe that they can trust an adult. And one of the things, so there's 4 episodes out now. Number 8 is like my conclusion. So spoiler alert. I'm not sure when you're going to air this, or I know it's live too, but
now, right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, spoiler alert. One of the things I find out, or I talk about in episode 8, is the 2 education ministers that were education ministers during the time of this policy and this bill being activated were evangelical Christians. Their children went to evangelical schools, private evangelical schools. So the education minister, their kids don't even go to the schools that they're ministers of. So, again, that's like that alt-right Christian Trumpism trickling up north to Canada, which is unfortunate. And again, being evangelical, knock yourself out. It's when people in power, force their beliefs on people, is where I get pissy.
That even goes against the words of Christ, because Jesus Christ
Right?
literally says, let Caesar have what is Caesar's.
Well, it goes back to that Lutheran pastor I talked to who said she follows the teachings of Christ, not the Bible. Evangelicals use the Bible as their final word. So,
which is like, if you are evangelical, shouldn't that, like, you should follow the evangelists. Like, that's what it's supposed to be, and that's the teachings of Christ. For fuck's sake!
I know it's
like,
very.
You should...
Talk about irony.
Yeah, very, very ironic. I'm sorry. I know I get sidetracked, but like, honestly, I would like to just say that, like, thanks for doing this. Honestly, and I would like.
My pleasure.
It's important, and it's good to have. Like, you're doing. I can't find a better way to phrase this, but you're doing God's work.
I should have a following.
Yeah, that's never turned wrong when someone decided to do that. Gonna keep up with this opening up a new Jonestown in Saskatchewan.
Todd Town.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a pile of work. And for someone who's neurodivergent, I mean, it's hard to stay focused. But once I got going, I was like hyper focused. And I mean, I learned so much about Saskatchewan, trans people, just my city, like.
I bet.
And I mean,
I bet that when the hyperfixation kicks in, that's
my wife didn't see me for a couple of weeks. I was in the basement for like 2 weeks editing and just researching, and it was. Yeah.
That was me this summer while I was making my own role-playing game. That's what I do. I can't do shit for this, but
isn't gender just a role-playing game?
Sorry?
Isn't gender a role-playing game?
Yeah, basically. I have to. I have to.
Without the
roll
rolling.
less than I do without the rolling. It's though it is not role-playing game with like a 2 L's. It is
Right.
playing a role. So, yeah, it's very much. It's not.
I always forget that
That's
the
actually-
role in role playing
Yeah.
is actually playing a role, not rolling dice.
Yeah. That was actually one of my my big issues with Dungeons and Dragons, the mathematics. So I just have to like that's what I'm trying to get out when I'm doing my own. And I'm going to
no
force
equations.
Torrens to play it on streams one day, and it's going to be the best episode ever because he's going to fucking hate me. I'm never going to come on here ever again after that.
Awesome.
But yeah,
Yeah,
like,
one of the things I
genuinely,
learned.
No, go on.
Yeah.
So the one thing I learned is just how
Yeah.
small the trans community is
as
in
I said earlier,
Saskatchewan. Because I mean, I
I
talked to one
bet.
person. They're like, "Oh, you know who you should talk to? You should talk to so and so." I'm like, "Oh, I already did last week," or I mean, so to wrap your head around Saskatchewan, in area, it's the size of Texas, but population-wise, it's around just over 1 million people. So it's like, a fraction of London in the size of Texas.
It's
so
Stockholm. It's basically Stockholm.
Stockholm's 1 million.
It's I think we're up to 2 million now, but it is
okay.
around like it's small, and like the LGBT community here is let's say it's small enough that I know that I basically dislike everyone in it.
So far.
Yeah, so far I'm waiting for someone new to move here,
Or reborn
it's
into it.
like. Yeah, well, I'm considering more of a dating pool, so.
Oh, I see. Okay.
We'll have to wait for a few. But like my boyfriend is a part like more of a part of that community than I am, and it's just like the most incestuous, fucking small little, like everyone knows everyone. Which coming from a small town, I think that's why I don't like it.
Right.
Like I come from a town with 30,000 people.
Well, I grew up in a town of less than 2,000, so.
Oh yeah, but I did live in a suburb to that town, which had 1,500. So we're pretty much
Okay.
But that kind of makes you allergic to that sort of thing. But
does,
other than that, like so yeah, I get the whole. I bet that Saskatchewan doesn't have like the biggest trans community ever.
No, and like so, our two major cities, which is Regina, which I know rhymes with vagina, Regina, and then Saskatoon, which is a 3-hour drive from here.
The fun thing is that it rhymes with vagina in Swedish as well.
They have two very different kind of communities. Like Saskatoon seems to be a very close-knit LGBTQ community, and they all get along, and it's all wonderful. The one in Regina, there seems to be always like this infighting and past history, incestuous arguments, and all that kind of stuff. Which I know people are people, but that's something I did learn too, was that it's like a lot of these small town people, because there's a lot of small towns in Saskatchewan. Growing up trans or even gay or lesbian or whatever, they do tend to go to Saskatoon to, out of school or whatever, out of high school, they seem to go there because it is a stronger community. So Saskatoon's a bit of it's like San Francisco of the prairies.
Ah.
I just coined that now. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh God. Make that the city. Make that the fucking what was
slogan?
The Providence slogan. the San Francisco of the prairies sounds more pleasure. Sounds like I want to go there more than I want to go to San Francisco, to be honest, because
it's in Canada.
For some reason, yeah, partly that, but for some reason I just love prairies. I think it's Little House on the Prairie when I was a kid.
Right.
By the way, that entire show, do you know how that ended? Do you know how Little House on the Prairie ends? They blow up the fucking town.
No, I didn't know that.
Just fun fact.
It was
Anyway,
all a
go on.
dream.
No, that's Saint Elsewhere, which ends with everything being in the mind of an autistic kid.
I love that.
Which also, like by connection, makes it so that pretty much every TV show ever is in the mind of that autistic kid by just who has been in different shows and stuff. Because they did a bunch of stuff with X-Men. And...
I was going to say maybe we're all a matrix of an autistic kid's imagination. That is the Matrix.
The Matrix is an autistic kid's imagination too. Actually, I have. There is no doubt in my mind about the Wachowskis. I say that as an autistic person myself.
You're right. I wonder about myself sometimes, but
it's
well, that's something else I learned too. Actually, is a lot of LGBTQ, trans people. There's a kind of a correlation between neurodivergence, autism, and gender and sexuality diversity.
Oh yeah. That's very fascinating, and I've thought a lot about this and why that is, and I've come to because it is basically being autistic and being like neurodivergent means being forced into a box that you don't fit into, basically in society.
Right.
Which means that you're already predisposed to question these things. Like that's basically what I think it is about.
I agree with you there. Yeah.
That's
one thing we agree on.
Last week, by the way, that I forgot about. Yeah. That's cool. Nice. That's one. That's the only thing. Everything else I've said has been bullshit. I do not blame you. Most of what I say is just garbage.
Well, we have to make it controversial, so it's more interesting. If we all just agree on everything, it's
nice. Can't we just tell each other to fuck off to make a?
Oh yeah.
I hate you.
Know what, Torn? You know what, Torn? Fuck you.
Fuck
and
you.
Scene.
I'm going to add that to my clip show.
Yeah.
I did rewatch the Matrix sequels the other day.
Don't get me started on the amount of Don't get me started on the amount of fucking times I've almost lost it on this show with stupid people who said the exact same thing to me. Funnily enough, Todd. I didn't know what I said here. Anyway, as I said. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So I was going to say before I started even recording with anybody, I have a trans. He's the co-chair of Pride Saskatchewan, which is the city for me, and like kind of consulting me before I started doing the series because I wanted to make sure I was on the right track and I didn't get sidetracked as a cis person and like start talking about issues that didn't actually fucking matter to trans people. And so I did kind of, do a bit of research before I even started recording because I wanted to make sure I was doing it right. And one of the things he said was, because I kind of wanted to talk to people that were like you guys do, where you talk to people that don't agree with what you say. And he made the point, like they have all the say in the world. Like, let's not give them another platform. And if you talk with them just to make fun of them, they are very well organized, and you will be sorry. They will, they will make your life hell. So just don't even worry about that side. And so that was that
was a good choice.
Yeah,
like I get a kick out of it, and I only invite we only invite people in here for us to yell at them. Like there is no like civil discussion here when it comes to it. Like just imagine all the energy that I bring right now, but targeted at like I'm going to make your life miserable for an hour or two. Like that's basically how I. So like, but in general, I think that's also best left to Like, I hate to do the whole, but I think that's best left to trans people to do. Like, there is,
Right.
like,
right,
we
right,
need
right.
you for other stuff, and what you did, it seems like it's the best situation that you could do with it, and I really respect that. I want to genuinely say
thank you.
before I go out and smoke, because I don't know if you'll be here when I get back. If you are, then I'll say a proper goodbye when the time comes. I don't know time, but I'll step out and smoke again.
Okay. Well, thank you, Max.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
going to what that person said, it's like, yeah, they have a point. We have had interviews where they're being cordial. Of course, they're going to be heated at times. That's to be expected when you have
Yeah.
two different ideologies. And of course, we've had Max go almost nuclear. But that's part and parcel of a healthy discourse. But I want to make sure that what I said earlier, everyone watching or watching this in the future, do go and check out Todd's podcast, Body Hugs and Mental Health. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, wherever else his podcast is on.
Yeah.
Do make sure you listen to it and then give it a review, because reviews always help,
They do.
especially with the algorithm. And so, yeah, because I don't want to keep you far too long,
No, it's
is there
okay.
anything else you want to add?
Well, the Transgression series is actually a separate podcast. It's separate from Bunny Hugs and Mental Health. So it's Transgression, my search for the real trans agenda in Saskatchewan. But I know it's wordy, but basically if you type in Transgression, it should come up.
It's
And,
a fucking
and the
brilliant
logo,
title.
and the logo. So that's it's this. I combined the Saskatchewan flag with the trans flag, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to piss off some people in Saskatchewan. I'm just I love it. I was like I was so excited for like a week every time I looked at the logo. I was like, oh, it's so good.
That's so good. That's so good. I love I love flag defacement. It's the best.
Not my flag, as so many people say.
Which is like, yeah, sure, don't use it then. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to
you're right.
buy a trans flag and I'm going to set it on fire. Yeah, there are
We've
more.
had,
We have more flags.
yeah.
Well,
Thank you
thanks
for sponsoring whatever charity.
Well, I just want to thank you folks too for having me on, and I mean, I know there's a time difference and there's a bit of a delay when we're talking and stuff, and it's just awesome that you just let me come on here and promote this. So
Yeah, what time is
before
it for
I
you
go
right now?
It's 3 a.m.
Oh my fucking god!
I'm kidding.
so
I'm
sorry.
kidding. I'm kidding. It's noon. It's like one in the afternoon right now.
Because it's like 8 o'clock for me. So
My meds are they're working perfectly right now.
yeah.
But yeah, so, thank you so much for having me. And I mean, I would love to, if you're ever needing a guest again in the future and you just want to shoot the shit, we don't even have to plug anything of mine. I'm always down to
That's the best.
Chinway.
That's what I'm actually good at. That's what I'm actually good at.
Yeah, me too.
Doing interviews, I stuck at, but just
I'm sure.
shooting the shit is like my forte.
Well, thanks again, guys. I should get going because I do need to make money, so I do
I'm
have to
sure
kiss
you will.
ass.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll
Yes,
get.
I
Yeah.
do actually. I know
Yeah,
that
that's
I
fine.
joked about it earlier, but I
That's
respect
fine.
that. It's there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, but we do need to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Being
Well, thanks,
unemployed, I know
gents.
that.
Sorry, I called
Bye.
you gent.
Yeah.
Thanks, gent,
No more-
and
no
ma'am.
more.
All mother. What is all mother?
Bye.
That's your title?
That is the unofficial title that I've chosen for this podcast.
I adore it. I love it. But take care.
Bye. The same.
Bye.
Good
Take
luck.
care. Bye.
Whew, that was a fun conversation.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
We will most definitely have him back on at some point.
oh yeah, definitely. He was a lovely person. I was enjoyed talking to lovely people. I've been having. I know that I teased. I'm going to do a reading, and I'm going to do a reading from my book. But I know that I teased like the whole. I'm not going to be able to do that this week. The whole fucking me answering questions. I've had a rough week mental health wise. Rough enough that I needed to isolate myself because I couldn't like be a good stepmother. So yeah, I have not finished preparing that. Rough enough that I watched fucking Zack Snyder's Justice League and liked it.
Oh God.
I don't know if you've ever have you seen that film? Like
Yes, I have, and I absolutely
the full,
hated it.
the full 4 hours. It's I don't know. For some reason, earlier when I watched it today, it fucking hit me right. But I've also been watching this fucking Matrix sequels. I want to make clear, I did not watch The Matrix. I started with Reloaded. That's where I've been this week. I started with Reloaded. I watched that. I watched Revolutions. I watched Resurrections, which, by the way, is the only really good Matrix film. I stand by that. And like, I don't know. I've been having a weird mental health week. I just had a breakdown. But other than that, things are fine. How have you been doing? You don't have to say if you don't. It's just. Did you ever watch Smiling Friends? I need someone new to talk with it about. I can't. I know no one who watches this fucking show. I need someone to talk to it about it. Can we just make this the Smiling Friends podcast? We'll watch an episode now. We'll just hang out and watch an episode of Smiling Friends. That's what I want to do. I'm sorry, this is what sobriety does to me.
In terms of my week, it's been not so bad. I've had a bit of a
That's good.
mental health dip myself, but it's one of those things where you have to keep going forward. You have to take each day as it comes. So yeah,
You really do.
Yep.
But,
in fact, as soon as we jump off, I'm going straight to bed after this because I've been sleeping a lot lately, which is a bit unusual for me because my sleeping pattern is all over the place. So that's what I'll be doing. But yeah, Todd was really easy to talk to.
He was. That's nice. I like it when they're easy to talk to. I've said it before. I don't like weird. Like, I know that people. I genuinely don't like weird moods. Like being. I don't like bad moods. I don't like when the air is like thick. I hate confrontation. And I know that sounds like complete. and utter fucking bullshit. But I genuinely do. It's just that I cannot stop. It's and not like when the confrontation has started. That's fun for me. But like being the one to have to like, yeah, now I'm going to make things very uncomfortable for people by saying this. That I hate to do that, like genuinely. But I can't not because I'm weird. But then when it starts, then it's just like fun. Because then I know that I can edit pigeons into it. And if you listening don't understand what that is a reference to, then you need to go back to me actually showing the clips that I've done for the Paul episode, which I will finish the second that I fucking can. But right now I cannot afford the editing software. Because I had to borrow money from mom this month. Like, that's where I'm at. Which is why I don't have any drugs, because I have a rule for not buying drugs for borrowed money. Which is a good rule, by the way. Everyone should have that. Never buy drugs with borrowed money. Fuck's sake.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
And to clarify, for anyone, for any of our hate watchers out there, when Max said she literally cannot stand any conflict or hates, getting into arguments. She tries to avoid it. She being truthful, but don't let that fool you. Because Max has shown that she is more than willing, if she needs to fight her corner, and she will win.
Oh yeah. Like the second that the confrontation starts. Oh yeah, I never lose. But the second that the confrontation starts, I'm good. Like I loved our discussion with Paul. Like genuinely, that discussion. I loved the humiliation porn that we shot with Paul. It was fun for me, but it was just like that start of it. That's why I needed to do the whole clown thing in the start. I needed it to come out strong, because otherwise I wasn't going to be able to do it. Which I think is what happened when we had fucking hell, what is her name?
Bev.
The one from the LGB Alliance.
Bev.
Yeah, Bev, thanks. I think that's what happened then, because I jumped into a conversation and I'm like, yeah, I'm just a meek little girl. I'm sitting here in a corner. Which is exactly what I did for the entire episode. Go watch it if you don't believe me. But yeah, so if you want to get off early, should I do the reading now then?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll just because this I've been reading excerpts from my book earlier, and that's what I will be doing today as well. So I have it up here, and I will just be and I will not be going through what's happened. I'm not that much of a nice person. No. Also, you don't need to know it, but you need to know that this follows a person after a suicide. Not after his suicide, after a friend's suicide. That's what it's about. So this is, we'll be reading 2 chapters of that today, I think. And it's 2 fairly short chapters. And I will have to be pronouncing French, fucking hell. Right in the first sentence as well. Mikke takes le mythe de Sisyphe. The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus off the library shelf. Opens it in the mid... Mickey takes The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus off the library shelf, opens it in the middle, plus or minus a few pages. Then he uncorks a black pen with his teeth and draws a giant penis with the entire fold. He closes the book and places it back on the shelf and corks the pen, but not without accidentally jabbing himself in the gums when he blindly aims for the cork, still held in place between his teeth, and searches the shelf again, one finger stroking the spines as he chooses the next victim. I don't know if he has a thought-out method, or if he goes by gut. I yawn. It's too early to be awake, really, but Mikke called and woke me up, and told me to meet him outside of Subway, by the mall, and he hung up before I got a chance to protest. And now we're hidden in the philosophy section from the other visitors at the library, and while Mikke defiles the books, I keep lookout to make sure that no one comes by and notices. He takes Also sprach Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche off the shelf, studies it for a few seconds as if he's actually contemplating reading it. Then he opens it close to the end and uncorks the pen again. He draws a very rudimentary sketch of a man wanking his enormous dong on the page to the left and writes in crude big letters, Deutschland, Deutschland, über alles, over the entire right page. Then he closes the book, corks the pen after jabbing himself in the gums again, and places the book back on the shelf. Repeats it ad nauseum. Hey, did you hear? He starts laughing. Don't know if it's true, but Andre says Iris' sister had an epic meltdown at the service after Iris' funeral. He pauses what he's doing and looks at me with his index finger resting on a painfully ancient copy of The Republic by Plato. Collapsed on the floor and screamed like a fucking nutjob. The finger moves on, back and forth, along the shelf. Absolute fucking spaz. I think someone mentioned it on Saturday. I take a deep breath. No shit! He looks almost happily surprised. Might be true then. Maybe, I gulp. Didn't you fucking hate Andre? I ask. Why would you hang out with him? Well, he disgusts me, but that's just because he's the most disgusting person alive, Mikke says. It's pure genetics, he sighs and shakes his head. But his doggo is the least disgusting doggo I've ever met. So I hang out with her sometimes. It's not her fault that her owner is inbred. He takes Heidegger's Sein und Zeit and flips through it, picks what seems like random pages to cover with sloppy swastikas. Whatever, I just thought maybe we shouldn't have bailed. He places the book back on the shelf. You know, from the funeral. He begins searching for the next book. Or from the memorial service. Maybe we missed the spaz out by just a few minutes. Oh yeah, content warning about language. I sigh. I'm glad we bailed, I say. It felt right at the time. I glance around the shelf to see if anyone's approaching. Are you done soon? That's your problem, you know? He points at me with the beginner's guide to philosophy. You lack vision. He opens the book at the end and writes, Martina is a cocksucking faggot, and then returns it to its place. Completely blind for all form of potential, he says. I ask, who's Martina? And didn't you used to score blow from her? Finger stroking the spines. Or was that someone else? He glances at me. That was you, right? From Martina? Fucking what? No, what? Martina? He searches his memory. Something beginning with an N. Isn't it? Nomi, I said. Didn't you score blow from her in high school? Who bites blow in high school? I scored speed from some fucking pal to Thea's dad. I try to recall his name but fail. It doesn't matter anyway. It is what it is. And Sake has hooked me up since senior year. You and your bullshit. He takes a step back from the bookshelf and studies it like an artist studying the piece he's just finished. He looks at me and says, you're the snobbiest fucking cokehead I ever met. You'd never settle for speed. Be that as may, Mikke, but that's just a sign. But all that tells you is that I'm not actually retarded, I say. I didn't have a choice in high school. You think kids can develop a coke habit on study allowance? Rich parents will settle for what fits the budget. I sigh. Are you done? It was you. He puts the pen in the bag and shrugs. But yeah, I'm done. Let's vamos. We walk towards the exit. Mickey says, are you hungry? No. I should really get something. I'll keep you company. Neat. Burger King? Sure, I ask. But who's Martina? What? He looks at me. What are you even talking about? Dude, sometimes you're truly fucking incomprehensible. End of chapter. So that chapter is about them defacing books in the library. And I will say, I had a genuine discussion with my translator about like, when should it be spaz or spastic and when should it be retarded? Like, because those two, like, the translation of those are kind of sometimes the same like, and having to have that, like, that was not a fun discussion to have, like, and also them like, can we make this a bit less vile? And like, no, we can't. This needs to be just as vile. They need to draw swastikas and like talk about spastics. That's what I would need. The next chapter is a bit interesting because it's the first flashback of the book. The book has like 6 flashback chapters, and this is the first one. It's a party by the lake, and it's springtime, and the warmth has started to stretch into late evening or into night even sometimes. And I'm in junior year, and Thea has scored a tall boy about absolute vanilla, and we drink straight from the bottle. Last caress by Misfits playing at the boombox next to the fire, and someone, maybe Jens, but I can't quite remember, is shouting in the weeds when he loses his balance, pissing and almost falls into the water. He catches himself on some type of tree and regains his balance. He stumbles back to the fire. His pants are still unbuttoned, so he walks like a cowboy to keep them up. He sits down by the fire between Madde and Silla and lights a cigarette and drinks from an elk brew bottle and makes a face because it's gone warm or flat or standing open too long, or maybe just because it's kind of a gross beer that we only drink because it's the highest alcohol percent. I love that translation, by the way. Thea and I sit on the other side of the fire across from Jens, and we are sending the vanilla vodka back and forth between us and take big gulps, several gulps each time, and we don't even notice that we're getting unreasonably drunk, and we smoke L&M menthols that Thea has been stealing from her dad for several weeks. No more than 1 or 2 from every pack, until we have collected 2 whole packs and some spare that we have saved for tonight. I throw my cigarette in the fire when I've smoked it down to the filter and light a new one. I give myself permission for once to shame smoke, and it feels good to have a chance to lavish. And I can't really remember, but it's probable that it was the first time I'd ever been able to do that. There are so many people here tonight, most of them from Kumla B, my classmates, or from the other classes of the same age, or from classes of other ages, but still people I know well and I see them every day or so. But some are from Via Lund or Skogstorp too. They're here because they're someone's partner or someone's elementary school friend from before classes got split up for middle school. Everyone's saying stuff, but no one's really talking. Madde and Silla are trying to get Jens' attention so hard they don't notice that he's only interested in talking and probably doing other stuff to Petra. And he's too busy trying to make her think he's cool or sexy or interesting or anything at all, really, to notice that she's only giving curt answers, not even especially tailored to the subject of conversation, to everything that he's saying, because she, as soon as she's given one of the aforementioned curt answers to Jens, turns to talk to, but above all shoot her shot at, the older guy who I can't remember the name of, but who I'm pretty sure is in high school and has a driving license, and is here because he knows someone or is the brother of someone, Or is someone's booze guy and he's only got eyes for Iris, not paying attention to the way she's leaning away from him, and Iris says nothing at all because she's too deep into a futile battle against a high school guy's hand creeping back onto her thigh every time she brushes it off. And for the longest time it seems like she won't give in, but after 20 or 30 times she accepts that it's pointless and that she's only stressing herself out. So the next time the hand lands upon her thigh, she leaves it there, and a few minutes later her hand is on top of his, and a while later she stopped leaning away and is maybe even leaning in a little bit, or maybe it's towards the fire. And I notice Petra rolling her eyes. At times someone gets up from the spot by the fire to go to piss or get away from the heat for a bit, and sometimes someone else follows them into the woods. And every time there's an empty spot, someone else claims it, and it feels like a cynical version of musical chairs. I stare into the fire until my eyes sting from the warmth or from the smoke or from both. Last caress ends on the boombox, and there are a few seconds of silence recorded on the sloppily produced mixtape before Shoreline by Broder Daniel comes on. I get up to go down to the water to take a piss. I ask Thea if she wants to tag along, but she's too involved in an argument with Micke about something I really can't be fucked to care about, that she can't even hear me. So I stumble down to the reeds. It's dark, but there's a full moon shedding some light, and the water is still and completely blank except from the rings created from my piss, breaking the surface tension. My breath is cool from the menthol, and a comforting sense of calm settles over me. I stay where I am for a long time, and I smoke and gaze over the blank lake, and I don't think I have a single thought during that whole time. And then I walk back to the fire. Emil has taken my spot and is tugging at Thea to get her attention, as the only one at the party, and as far as I know the only one in the whole world, she's outed herself as obnoxiously lesbian in our painfully straight backcountry to I find the whole thing equally fascinating and entertaining, and I'm almost tempted to rile Emil up in his efforts just to see what would happen. But Thea is still deep into her argument with Micke, and who would ever have been into heading out in the woods to get puberty shagged up against a tree by Emil anyway? Petra comes up to me and asks for a smoke. She says, Iris and the high school guy is in the woodshed. She says, I was going to get the snuff in my bag and I heard them fucking. I say, my condolences. Petra shrugs and says, honestly, I only heard him, and there's no point being bummed out for missing out on a bad pork, right? And I ask, that thought exercise working well for you? She swallows with difficulty and says, totally, super fucking well. And she says, if I start crying like a bitch, it's only tears of joy. I put an arm around her shoulders, stroking her arm. I say, I'm happy that you're so super fucking happy. Petra lets out a snivelly laughter with a quiet, you cock. She leans her head against my chest. I put both my arms around her, holding her close. She reeks of cheap cigarettes and cheap beer and jungle juice, and she's covered in sweat from crying, and she's cold from alcohol, and her fingers touch my shirt, tentatively, to show me that if I want her tonight, she's a game. But I'd have to initiate, because she can't handle another rejection. She looks at me. I brush her bangs from her eyes, clumsily stroking her cheek. It's as clear as anything can be. She takes my hand and leads me in between the dark trees. End of chapter. So that was his life when he was like 13 or 14. And in the original book, he's like 30. Like in the present day chapters, he's like 30. So he's like 30 when they're defacing the books, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Because he turns... the book takes place during 1.5 months. Like, except for those chapters. And he does turn... We find out at the end that he has turned 30 during the time that the book has taken place. So it's like... he's far too old to act like he does. But yeah, that was the 2 chapters that I was going to read today. I will say that I have been reading these. Like if you listen to the first ones, and then listen to this, they are done in order. So like this is the first. I think I've done the first 6 chapters now of the book, and the book has like 63 chapters or something.
Well,
I don't know because they're not numbered.
More.
Yeah. Well, it's coming. It's.
I can't wait to hear more next week.
Yeah. And next week, I'm hopefully going to be able to do my my advice column. But I have to do a bit for it, so that's why I'm not really done. I can't really do it today because I'm not bit maxed right now.
Yeah. So next week. Yeah. So next week you will have hopefully an advice column coming your way. But yeah, I mean that will be it for tonight because because my bed is calling me. And so yeah, I hope you enjoyed tonight's live. Hope you enjoyed meeting Todd.
Oh yeah, he was so nice.
So did I, and he was. He will be back, but again, it will probably be at least another 2, maybe 3 months, or maybe the beginning of next year. But either way, Nerdy will be back with us. Before you know it.
Sorry.
So yeah. So until next week. So Nerdy will be back.
Did you say Nerdy will be back next week?
No, I said that Nerdy will be back with us soon. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, either way, I mean, she'll be back regardless. So
she'll be back when she's back.
Yeah. But yeah, until next week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe.
Yeah, same.
And if you decide to do drugs, make sure you're in a safe environment.
And if you are using anal relaxing lubricant, I will warn you that also you need to wipe it off before you stick in a cock there, because that will absolutely kill an erection.
Yep. So on that note, we will leave it there.
Bye everyone.
Bye everyone. Let me